Have you ever wondered how judges actually decide cases? It's not like they're just making it up as they go along. There's this kind of invisible rule book that guides everything. It's called legal precedent. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how it works. To really get this, let's think about something we all know: sports. Imagine you're watching a huge game, right? But here's the twist. Every single ref on the field has their own personal rulebook. What's a foul to one ref is a perfectly legal play to another. Can you even picture that?
Right? It would be complete and utter chaos. Nobody, not the players, not the fans, would have any idea what's going on. Now, just take that feeling and apply it to our legal system. If every judge just made up their own interpretations of the law, I mean, how could anyone ever know what's legal or illegal? Justice would be a lottery.
And that is where the doctrine of precedent comes in. It's the elegant solution to that exact problem. It's the core principle that brings order to the law, making sure things are consistent and, well, fair. Okay, so here's the official, kinda textbook definition. It says that rulings on matters of law from higher courts act as binding rules for lower courts. I know, that sounds a little dense, maybe a bit legalese, but don't worry, we're going to unpack that right now. It's simpler than it sounds.
Let's go back to our sports analogy, because it works perfectly here. Think of the entire court system like a professional sports league. You've got two key groups: the people who actually write the rules, the rule makers, and then you've got the referees on the field who have to call the game based on those rules.
And here's the most important part: the flow. It's a top-down system. A higher court makes a big decision on a point of law. Now, that ruling isn't just for that one single case. Nope, it becomes precedent. It's like they've just added a brand new rule to the official rule book. And from that point on, every court below them has to follow that new rule. They are bound by it. So this brings us back to our rule makers and referees. Your higher courts, think a state Supreme Court or the Supreme Court of the United States, they're the rules committee. They have the final say on the rule book. And then you have all the lower courts. They're the referees on the ground in every community. And their job is to apply the rulebook written by the committee to the game in front of them. Okay, this next point is absolutely crucial. Precedent is not about who won a particular case. It's not about the nitty-gritty details of one person's story. It is about the legal principle that was established. It's the rulebook, not the outcome of one specific play. So, let's make that crystal clear. When a high court defines what legally counts as a foul, that's a new rule for the rulebook. That sets a precedent. But when a local court simply decides if a player actually committed that foul in last night's game, that's just a call on one play, a finding of fact. It resolves one dispute, but it doesn't change the rules for anyone else. All right, let's tie this all together. Remember where we started? With that idea of total chaos, where the rules could change at any second? We've seen how the doctrine of precedent is the answer to that chaos. But why does this matter so much? What makes it the absolute foundation of a fair legal system? Well, it really boils down to 4 huge benefits. First, you get predictability. You and I can go about our lives knowing the rules of the game aren't going to change tomorrow. Second, fairness. It means that similar situations should be treated in a similar way, no matter who you are. Third, you get stability, so society has a reliable foundation. And finally, it's just plain efficient. Judges don't have to reinvent the wheel and re-argue the same basic legal points for every single case. They can build on what's come before. So the whole system is designed for stability, to keep things consistent. But that leaves us with a really big, and frankly, a fascinating question. If everyone is bound by old rules, how does the law ever evolve? What happens when a precedent from the past is just plain wrong? That is something to think about.